Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Logic 4K here at my first video. Recently I've been getting a lot of DMs just saying, how did I learn piano? Did I teach myself piano? All that. Yeah, here we are today. I'm gonna show you guys what I practice and how I write my stuff and break down a couple progressions and melodies and stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. This might be all over the place, kinda. It's okay if you don't understand it on the first try. Any video I watch that I like, I watch up to 10, 15, 20 times if I need to, just to understand everything. But yeah, we'll just start with some basic stuff. Alright, so the foundation of almost, everything, at least that I write, is just about the scale and the chords and the melody, right? Like the three things that you focus on. So today will be, oh shit, I got my OBS up. Today will be in C minor. Let's see. And yeah, we'll just be going through all the different scale degrees and like the number system and all the chords I apply to each note in the scale basically, and go through like common progressions and just kind of go through everything. So yeah, what you want to really focus on, basically the number system, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, back to 1. And for each one of these notes, you want to have a chord that corresponds to it. So 7, 1. So if you hear me say, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, all that kind of stuff, that's what I'm referring to, right? So when I write my melodies, I'll just go through a couple of examples, right? So I like to start on the 1 chord a lot. I have a lot of stuff that starts on the 1 chord. I mean, you can go pretty much anywhere from there, starting on the 1. The one I played in the beginning, right? All that is, really, all that is just me going down in this scale, right? With every chord I know. It's really that simple. And then, you just come up with melodies in your head. So how I come up with a lot of my melodies, right? I do this thing. I call it the waterfall, but I've seen a lot of videos where people refer to waterfall and it means a million different things. But this is what I do, right? So I just start on any chord and any 2 notes. Just start. So yeah, it's just basically improvising, right? You could start with any 3 notes in your left hand, any chord, and then just do the melody in your right hand, right? With this one, I kind of got that melody from this song. Alright, you'll hear like some of the passing chords in there I've stolen, and I won't say stolen, but yeah, how I learn a lot of my chords is just from other songs and then applying that to different songs. And this is the reason why the scale is so important, right? I was so confused at first. When you're learning a scale and learning chords, basically you just want to focus on one scale at a time, right? So when you look up another song and it's in a different key. Or at first, you just want to try to find songs that are all in the same key, right? Till you get familiar enough to move on. When I started, I was just learning everything as it was, which isn't a bad thing, but you get kind of lost in like understanding stuff. So you see all the similarities and like, but let me go through some stuff here. So these are really the three main. I'm gonna go really basic. These are the three main chords I use. Is the 6, 7, and the 1. You already hear the R&B in that. So something like that, right? And you can use them interchangeably. You can go from top or the other way around, right? That's keeping it simple, right? You can do any kind of variation. You can use different notes in each chord. I don't honestly don't know if I'm using this right. I like to refer to it as voicings. So let's say you have a C minor chord, right? And it can either sound, you can voice it like this, and it sounds real jazzy, you know, real like smooth, real, or you can switch the notes around. It's still the same chord, right? But the notes are different, right? That's what we call different voicings. So I'd say this is like an R&B voicing. Or no, sorry, this is like a R&B voicing, and then this is like the jazz kind of voicing, right? And then there's gospel voices and all type of tritone substitution and whatnot. But yeah, I'll try and keep it simple, but feel free to rewind, rewatch everything, because I know I'm gonna go all over the place here. But this is what goes through my mind when I'm writing stuff, right? So scale, chords, melody, and then passing chords, right? Passing chords are the main kind of thing that gives you that real soulful sound like that. So that like dissonant harmony, or that basically notes that go out of the scale. Not all passing chords are like that, right? Passing chords are just to fill in the space and make it sound more full. I mean, passing chords, I'll show you some diatonic passing chords, right? Alright, so you see what I mean, right? It's kind of just transitioning and filling in that space, right? Instead of just, you know, leaving it empty. Something like that. Or we can do, you know, something more. You know, see that right there sounds real full and crunchy, soulful. That good kind of stuff. Let me try not to get lost here, but so yeah, you got your basic chords. And you got your passing chords. That Alright. And then you got your melody, right? So when it comes to writing a song, what do you hear most, right? Is that the highest notes in the melody, the highest frequencies, right? What really defines a song is the highest and the lowest frequencies. So So the song is still there, right? You can still hear all the qualities and everything of it. It's all about just the scale degrees, and the melody, and then everything else is just fancy stuff, right? Even with the little arpeggios I'm doing, like, it's really like, and then everything else is just literally just making your hands go like this to make it sound fancy. And you guys might be wondering, like, what's that chord I always play at the end there? I believe, what is it? It says right here, G. Don't worry about all the chord names and stuff. G7 sharp 9 flat 13 add. See, I don't think like that. I just think 5 chord, right? And there's all these different voicings you can do for it. That's a 5 chord, right? That's probably my second favorite chord behind the half diminished chord right here. Alright, I'm gonna just try and wrap this up before I get too carried away again. I'll definitely do another part to this, and just want to see what kind of questions you guys have. First of all, like, this video, if you stumble across this video just by random looking for how to learn piano, I should have put this in the beginning, but don't, this is just for all the producers and beat makers and stuff that ask me, whatever. I have nothing on like technique and fingering and like, how to do everything with your hands. I can mostly explain like the theory side of it and what I'm doing, but when it comes to actual like playing, like the physical, just the technique basically, like fast fingers and like exercises for that kind of stuff. For me, it was just natural, I'll be honest. Like, I don't know, but there's plenty of videos you guys can look for that. Piano lessons with Warren, that's my favorite YouTuber for that kind of stuff. There's plenty. You'll start seeing them get recommended to you all the time. But last couple things I want to touch up on, just some ideas I had. Let's see. You might have been wondering, like, what am I doing with my left hand, or like how I come up with the bass notes. The interesting thing about like the left hand, right? It all, like, the way the piano is made, right? It's not like random, right? When I was like a kid, and you see someone playing an instrument, you're like, you might be thinking, like, how do they know what notes are gonna sound like that? All these notes. It's like, how do you even read that, right? But like, after a while, you realize everything on the piano is laid out like perfectly. It's laid out as perfectly as it can be. Like, it's not random whatsoever. The way how there's 2 black notes and 3 black notes every other, it's all there, right? So as for the left hand, you almost don't even have to think about it, because at least the middle note, is almost always right under where your finger would be anyway. And just by using your ear, you can tell like what sounds right. Like, if you have an octave right here, we got E flat. I mean, my finger is already there, it's positioned automatically just because how the piano is. You don't have to think about it for the most part, and that's how it comes with almost everything, I guess. Once you learn the scale, like I was talking about, how do you just know what notes are gonna sound like what, right? So It's just all about the scale. Like, I know it might seem boring to just sit there and like you want to play the crazy stuff, right? But trust me, that's where you want to start. It's just worrying about the scale, the one, the two, and then learning the simple triads. Just triads and then sevenths. Oh shit, my bad. And yeah, you get the idea, but it's all right here. So just sit down, you know, when you get time, and just go through all these chords. And then eventually, you know, you'll be using them however you want to in different progressions. Like let's see. Yeah, just mess around with the scale. I think that's all I got for now. I just want to see what you guys have to say. And again, thank you guys so much for all the support and everything I began recently. I mean, it's an honor to even have people asking me like to teach them this kind of thing. I've only been doing this for a year and 3 months playing piano. I've been making beats for a few years now, but I don't know. I'm really spiritual when it comes to, I mean, everything, right? So I owe it all to, you know, it doesn't even feel like me playing, really. It's just a spiritual thing at the end of the day for me. Like, but I'll get into that another day. But hopefully you guys are able to learn a little bit from this. Yeah. Let me know what questions you have, and yeah, have a good one.